Welcome back to another edition of Between Two Fars. I'm Warneke Miller, and I'm joined today by Bob Vogt. He is our Deputy Director for the Acquisition Integrity Program here at NASA. And he has held that position for about 3 years now, although prior to that he'd been involved in NASA's Acquisition Integrity Program for another 5 years. He's also got experience in DoD and just a wealth of information on fraud indicators and all things related to the Acquisition Integrity Program. We're really glad to have him here today because we need to know who to contact if we suspect fraud on our contract. Bob, what do we do? Where do we go?
Very good questions. Warneke, I'm glad you asked that actually, because a lot of times people don't know where, if they come across something that looks inappropriate in some way, or that doesn't, that seems either, maybe they hear something when they're at a contractor facility, but they're not always sure who to go to. Now, the short answer is they can go to OIG. That's the Office of Inspector General. They can go just about every center has, in fact, I think every center does have OIG agents at the center. So you can walk over to where the OIG office is, you can call them, you can email anyone if you know somebody. Now, we recognize sometimes you don't know the personnel at OIG, and so you may want to reach out to your local office of counsel, because your local office of counsel, at least at every center, there is somebody who, in addition to their other duties, will do handle any AIP fraud matters for their center, so you can certainly reach out to anyone in your office of general counsel, and they can point you to the attorney that handles AIP matters.
And once the attorney who handles AIP matters gets a particular issue, what do they do with it? What's the next step that the client can expect?
Good question again. What they can do, first of all, what the attorney will do is try and gather what information you may have. You do not have to have proof. You don't have to have a bunch of documents. It could be, again, something that you just heard or saw. But if you can provide that information to the AIP attorney, they can put together a referral and send it over to OIG. I should note, by the way, that there is an NPD, it's NPD 9800.1B, that requires all NASA personnel to report fraud. So you are required as NASA personnel to report fraud. I would also note that there is an executive order from the first President Bush that is still in effect, that requires all federal government employees to report fraud.
So if you've even got just that little red flag raising in your head, reach out, make the call, come by the office, speak to an attorney or speak to somebody in the OIG's office. You know what, why don't we set up a slide that shows them who all their points of contact are at each center so that you know who to reach out to at your local AIP office.
Yeah. We just want to encourage you as much as possible. If you recognize something that could be potential fraud, if you see something, if you identify something, just please report it, reach out to the Office of General Counsel. We'll make sure it gets to the right place.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Bob. Hang around because I think we can get Bob to talk to us a little bit more. We'll see you on the next episode of Between Two Fars.
Thank you.